a world where the truth isn't always what it seems, real estate masters step forward to help put the E first in the word true. TREU. Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. And now, here's your real estate masters and their host, Tom Blatania.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Friday morning edition of TREU Radio, Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. We're just here to have fun today. We're here to have a great time. We're here to help educate you, and today we're going to have a great time because today is the last show for TREU Radio here on WSTU 1450. But we are not going away, though. TREU Radio is still going to be online. Mm-hmm. TREU Radio is still going to be on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, I'd love to get together and do some, when we can really put together some really great topics and do a little research and get together and do like maybe a really good, solid 30, 45 minute like blog show and put them out there.
Yeah, the Blog Talk Radio. I actually went back to my my Comfort Time Live show. I was kind of peeking at that. I haven't messed with that in a while since I've been doing this show. I actually had one show that had over 11,000 views.
Nice.
On Blog Talk. And over all of my shows, I had over 120,000 views for Blog Talk. I mean, you're touching, you're touching so many. And Blog Talk, they just advertise the heck out of their business. And so that show is a featured show on Blog Talk. That's why it has so many viewers. But when I went on there this weekend and just started looking through everything, thinking, okay, what's going to be the next step? I'm not getting rid of TREU Radio because I've invested just creating the show plus doing the show. I've just done way too much. We all have.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But I've just created too much to just give it up. And so no matter what I got to do, I'm going to do something with it to keep it going.
What's nice with the blogs is you can do really specific topics to even a 10 or a 15 minute show. If you're like, hey, we got something interesting to discuss here, you can get it out there to get that information and keep that education rolling still.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have a good time today. Today we're going to kind of have some fun with Consumer Reports did an article, and we're going to have some fun with this, okay? So we're not going to get too serious on this, but we're going to have some fun with it. Real estate agents confess their dirty little secrets.
Okay, I'll tell you the secret. The word cozy means small. Okay, there we go. We've spilled the beans. Rustic charm means needs work.
So is that the same thing as she's got a great personality?
Exactly. Yeah. Houses can have great personalities too.
Sure they can.
We just call it has potential. I no, because come on, realtors don't use flourishing words at all, do we? I feel like a writer sometimes because it's fun. You go in and you're like, how am I gonna? How do you say something? Even a place that's already fantastic, spectacular. It's fun to try to write like what the place is about. Like when we were writing about the facilities down at, say, Evergreen and Palm Beach Gardens, we're writing this whole thing about like Disneyland-like accommodations and things like that. Although without the measles,
The measles or the line.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. The line, no lines, no measles. And they do have alcohol, so I guess there's three things. It's not like Disneyland at all. What am I doing? Hey, you said you wanted to keep it light, right? Okay, absolutely. I'm in a great mood
Let's
today.
Keep it going.
We can tell.
What kind of other like little things like that have you guys used in the past, or that you see out there that people are using that, kind of, I guess, what we call them, acronyms or not acronyms?
Euphemisms.
But, euphemisms. There you go.
Okay. It's close to the highway, easy commute. Then you go into the house and it's like roaring trucks around by it. Yeah, it's close.
It's a truck stop.
Real close.
Well, and then, and the thing is, I don't think there's anything wrong with, everyone uses euphemisms every day to try to describe. I don't like, and sometimes what I don't like is when people, and some realtors will put this out there where they'll say it's 3-bedroom.
Okay.
And if it doesn't have a closet,
with a den.
if it doesn't have a closet
and a window.
it's not a bedroom. If you square off a little interior space, I mean, I've seen ones that it's like I'm like, where was the third bedroom? And they're like, oh, was that? I'm like, that's a closet. It's a walk-in closet.
Yeah.
That's not. Who's gonna sleep in there? You know, like Hervé Villachez maybe would be comfortable in there, but all right, there's a reference that probably 10 people got. You know,
It's Harry Potter's bedroom.
Yeah,
Harry
there
Potter,
you
there you
go.
go.
that's much. See, he's got to go with the youth to get the more current
That's
comment.
why they pay him the big bucks.
I'm making
Yeah.
like a 1970s Fantasy Island reference.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Instead of the plane.
yeah, the plane.
Actually, he passed away not too long
He
ago.
did? Oh, poor Herbie.
Oh, that's funny. Well, they didn't have to dig a very big grave, right?
No. But I know Ricardo.
Oh, bad, guys. That's bad.
When Ricardo Montalban passed away, it was about, what, five or 6 years ago. They announced that we're all sitting at a pub in Chicago, and it popped up. It was like, Ricardo Montalban passed away. And everyone in the room must have all been Star Trek geeks, because at one, we just go, Khan! You know?
And that is one of Scott's dirty little
Yes.
secrets.
Yeah.
I don't think it's much of a secret.
Not dirty. Not much of a secret anymore.
Might be dirty, but it's not a secret.
So what kind of other things have you heard out there that are kind of like people stretching
Oh,
the
it's
truth?
like, it's immaculate. You walk in and they're like, really?
Or oceanfront view, and it's like 6 acres
Yeah.
back, and if you peek through that little hole in the tree,
If you stand on the chimney.
Yeah, or oceanfront view, and you've got a condominium above you, in front of you, and you can't see the ocean at all.
yeah, I can just imagine some of the stuff that people stretch out there to do it.
Need a little work. You go in there and it's an absolute
To
wreck.
tear out.
Yeah.
That's why I like that when they
Handyman
put Handyman Special, because at least you know what you're getting.
wide open.
You
Yeah.
see
Wide
Handyman
open.
Special,
Yeah.
you know what it means. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Consumer Reports actually did a report on here, and they talked about, they interviewed some real estate agents, National Association of Realtors, and, which some of these things, they actually were breaches of the ethical code. Some of these things, to a point, if there's some truth to them, it's just, I think there was actually a term that they used when I was doing my training. There's a term that can be used when they stretch it just a little bit, but there's still some reality to it. What was that?
Fluffing? Or?
I don't know if it was fluffing. It was something that might have been the term. There was a word that they used in my classes that they used when it was like, it's kind of the truth, but it's like really stretching the truth. But then there was one word when it was just completely false.
Well, yeah, and I think an easy litmus test for anyone is if you think you're stretching the truth, then you are.
And you
Yeah.
are here.
Like, I don't feel guilty saying, like, oh, this is cozy or this is quaint, because it really is. And
Yeah.
I'm saying that, and most people get it. But yeah, if I were I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to make something that's not there. If I'm in my head saying, that's a stretch, then it's a stretch.
Then it's a stretch.
You
yeah.
know, I think that's a pretty easy litmus test for it.
So unfortunately, as some of you know out there, the real estate business is saddled with some poor reputations, I guess you would say, out there, and that's why we have a collection of folks here on TREU Radio that, well, I don't think that they fall into those categories at all, and I haven't heard any complaints about any of you guys. We haven't had any calls of people complaining. So plus what little bit of time I've spent with you guys.
You never met my ex.
No. What was his
You
name?
want to hear complaints?
What was his name?
Oh.
No. No, I'm teasing. But no, there's a difference. So according to the real estate agents who were surveyed, the reputation is sometimes earned, which that's why real estate agents get some bad reputations. So here are a few of the top bad behaviors that real estate agents who were surveyed said that they've witnessed. And I would probably say that not just witnessed, that probably some of the people interviewed may have used some of these things themselves, would be kind of my guess.
Right.
But all of these, which are breaches of the ethical code of the National Association of Realtors, which basically means if the National Association of Realtors found this out and found out who the individual was, they would just basically go through board and probably end up losing their license.
There would certainly be some sanctions against
Yeah,
them.
Right.
absolutely, absolutely. So one of them, which is kind of a big one here, now this is from the report. So these are the realtors that they interviewed saying these, not any of the people here on the show. one of the realtors said, I sometimes steer clients towards houses that will bring me a higher commission rather than the best house for them. Now, I've witnessed this personally because one of the biggest issues I ever have when I'm always looking for, before I became a realtor, when I was looking to buy a house or rent a house, is I would set parameters, specific parameters of what I was looking for. I want a 3-2, I want a pool, I want this, I want that.
Just had that, huh?
And I would get...
Yeah, I got that email.
And I would get all kinds of other stuff. Not saying that you guys sent it, but I would get, I'm looking for this price range. I would get, $2,000, $1,500, $7,500. I mean, I would get all kinds of, but what I was looking for. One time I was looking for a house. I specifically wanted a house that was by a dock or really close to me walking to the water. And I got all kinds of stuff. Well, it's close. If you walk down there, it's about 1.5 miles, and so that one right there obviously must have been that they were trying to push down, because on a rental, of course, you get more money if the rental's higher, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The rental's higher or the commission split's higher.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variance from
And
one
actually,
property to the next.
That's a great point, George, that I was going to bring up. When we're out at a listing appointment and you have somebody talking like, oh, can't we discount it? Can't we do it for, I want to do it for 4.5% or 5%, start talking about getting a lower commission. And when we tell them, you don't understand that there are realtors, and there's a lot of them. And I'm not necessarily saying it's a dishonest tactic. It's just true that if somebody looks, I'm going to show you 10 houses, and 2 of them are listed at 2% or 2.5% commission, a lot of the people are going to show the 3% ones preferably over the other ones. Yeah. Just like there's a few of these the companies where you can pay a flat fee and they'll put it on the MLS. They pay realtors 1% commission. Those ones are not getting shown by realtors, because they're like, I don't want to put my time in and go and do that. So there is, whether it's honest or not for someone to be steering you that way, we do know they do it. So when we tell our sellers that we're actually being honest, that there are really realtors out there who will look at that 2%, 2.5% and say, I'm not going to show that house.
Either that, or they will point out the strong featers for the higher commission, or the negatives of the lower commissions, just to
balance
kind of push you in that direction.
I mean, we all know that we work to make money. I mean, we're not out there giving you our services for all of the years of schooling we've had, the knowledge we have, for nothing.
Right.
So there are ways of getting around that, and that is by letting your buyer know, we can show you this house. They're only going to pay 1%. We're going to have a buyer fee for the showing, and letting them know why we do that. I mean, we all have to have a certain amount of money for every transaction we do.
So you can do that, even if the commission is smaller like that. You can add
build
a
it
fee.
in your contract.
You
yes.
can.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize that.
Absolutely. So there's no reason to steer. There's no reason to steer a client. You just have to be open and honest with your clients.
If you're educated, that's just what we like to do, and you know what you're doing, there's always a way to do something honestly.
Right.
Rather than.
And you need to do it honestly. And in this business here, that's what gives us all such a bad reputation is the agents that aren't honest.
And up front.
And they're not up front.
I mean, and I've passed by a lot of realtors who the first time I would email them and they would send me a bunch of stuff that had absolutely nothing to do. Why are you sending me 10 houses that don't have a pool? I asked for a pool. That's what I want. If there's nothing in that range, then you just come out and tell me there's nothing in that range. Okay.
It's kind of like I did to you. I sent you over everything that was available in Martin County and told you there was nothing here in your range.
Exactly.
So I sent you Port St. Lucie, but I took it up a little bit higher. Now, I took them up a little bit higher only because a lot of times if those houses have been sitting empty for a while and they're ready to go, we can negotiate them down. So, but if we could find that ideal home.
Yeah. But I tell you, I found out after you guys sent me that stuff, I found out that, I mean, I didn't want to stay. I'm not going to say where I'm staying now, but, they just raised the rent again, 6%, which is pretty high for a rent raise.
Sure.
And I was like, this is insane.
Maybe it's time you need to buy a house, Tom.
Well, I'm not ready because I don't know where I want to go. And I don't want to buy a house in 2 or 3 years. I may not even be around here in 2 or 3 years. And that's my thing that I'm holding off on right now. Is that if I knew I was going to stay here for another 8 to 10 years or 7 to 10 years, then I would buy a house all day long. But there's no way in 3 years.
Isn't 3 to 5 where people are moving?
That is.
Kind of we're getting to where the moving.
5 is the norm.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be in a position where I'm either break even or still slightly upside down, or well, I'm not even going to be break even. If I sell the house for what I owe on it, I'm still going to be a negative because of all the money I've invested in the house. The down payment that I put down, the money for the
down payment you automatically get back. If you're breaking even, you're still getting your down payment back. That's part of your down payment as part of your buy.
Well, if the house is worth $175 and I sell it for $175,
yeah,
if I put $20,000 down to get it to $175, I've lost.
Still recouped it.
I've lost $20,000.
No, you haven't.
No,
you
How?
haven't.
That's not part of your closing cost. That is part of the.
That's your down payment on your house.
Yeah, but that's what I brought. Now, if I sold the house,
if you think about it,
if I sold the house for $195,
yeah, but 20% down is your down payment, right? Your mortgage amount would be less 20%. So if you take your mortgage amount plus your 20% down, that's your buy price.
But think of it this way: say the house was worth I bought it at $195. Okay, so I put $20,000 down to bring it to $175.
That's your mortgage amount.
That's my mortgage amount. Right. So
if you sell it for
now I go and sell it.
Why would you
sell it
do
for a
that?
loss then?
What I'm saying is that the house is only worth $175, and at that point in time, my mortgage is $175. Okay, well, I've already put $20,000 in, so I would have to sell that house at $195 in order to break even. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's my concern is if I put
my friend, you need to get your head out of the hole. The market is increasing. It's not decreasing. We are not on a downside right
But
now.
statistics show it's not. But statistics show that you have to keep a home for a certain period of time in order for there to be a return on investment.
Not necessarily.
Right now, it's less than 3 years. In today's market, it's less than 3 years.
Okay, well then that might be something to look at then and to consider. So I will take that advice then.
We don't have a crystal ball. We can't tell what it's going to be in 2 years. But if you bought a house 3 years ago, you would be on the plus at 3 years.
Well then maybe I need to look into that.
You need to look in that because right now you're paying somebody else's bills.
Yeah. That's true.
And if anyone else would like to look into that,
so you haven't gotten anything.
Then you can give us a call at 772-444-2590, and that number will stay active.
Yes, good.
Just continue, on forward. That is a Google Voice account, so just leave a message for any of the 3 realtors, and we'll be happy to get back to you.
And that's Scott McAllister, Carol Morgan, and George Matters. We're going to go ahead and take our first break here. Hear from some of our sponsors. Don't forget to come back here to TREU Radio, WSTU 1450.
Morgan, real estate consultant with Keller Williams Real Estate in beautiful Stuart, Florida, serving Martin, St. Lucie, and Palm Beach counties, and co-host of Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. I have an extensive array of luxury waterfront and single-family homes. If you're looking to buy or sell, please call me at 772-631-1394 or go to StewartHomeListings.com.
Don't miss Real Estate Unleashed, Friday mornings at 10 on WSTU. Why is the back bedroom always so hot?
Because it's the farthest room away from the AC.
Judy across the street has the same house we do. She doesn't have this problem. They had CTL consultants work with their builder and architect to design the most efficient system. They even designed the ductwork system so that every room is the same temperature. Her house is the same exact size. It has 2 tons less air conditioning than ours, and it feels 10 times better in their house. CTL Consultants, they really made the difference. We should have had CTL Consultants design our system.
If you're a builder, architect, engineer, or HVAC company looking for a true professional to design your HVAC systems and provide proper energy analysis, then you should contact CTL Calcs at ctlcalcs.com. That's ctlcalcs.com. ctlcalcs.com to see how we can help you build a better home.
Hi, I'm Scott McAllister, General Manager of the McAllister International Team of Keller Williams of the Treasure Coast and co-host of Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed every Friday morning on WSTU at 1450 a.m. I have a full real estate team with specialists in buying, selling, land and equestrian properties, distressed homes, and luxury waterfront. Call myself or my team at 561-756-0891 or online at treasurecoasthomesonline.com.
90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Do you have a struggling business? CTL Consultants specializes in helping small to medium-sized businesses get back on track. They'll help you understand how your profit and loss statement works. If used properly on a daily basis, it can be the most powerful tool you have. And you don't have to be an accountant to understand one. Don't use a profit and loss statement? Then you need to contact CTL Consultants today at ctlconsultants.com or 772-882-5700 to get your business back on track.
I'm George Matter of Keller Williams Realty of the Treasure Coast. I've been a residential realtor for the past 12 years, specializing in waterfront and country club communities. If you're looking for the right house to dock your boat, I'm the realtor to call. Please contact me at 772-486-4676 or online at matterrealtors.com. I look forward to helping you buy, sell, or invest in your next home. Please listen to us Friday mornings at 10 a.m. on WSTU.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
All right, welcome back to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. I'm Tom Platini, your host. We are here with Scott McAllister, Carol Morgan, Mr. George Matter, our anchor man. Right. Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. We're having a little bit of fun today. We're talking about true confessions of the real estate agents.
You know, when you were telling me the story about the realtor driving you to all these places that you didn't want to go, it reminds me of an ad. It had to be from 7-8 years ago from one of the larger real estate companies where the guy said, "I want to see anything but a ranch," and it shows the people driving up. Well, here's a blue ranch, and they just keep going from each house is a ranch that they're showing them.
Yeah,
that was the people in the yellow jackets.
Oh, yeah, we don't talk about them. Do we know who they are?
I'm just glad I'm not forced to wear a gold-colored jacket every day.
Does that company still exist?
They're still around.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
They're much smaller. They're pretty much been absorbed by their big blue brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. All right, so hey, we got Hot Around Town here on True Radio, and we're going to find out what the agents have, open houses, maybe some houses being listed, and we're going to start, as usual, with ladies first. Miss Carol Morgan, what's hot around town for the Morgan team?
Well, yesterday I spent the whole day looking at new construction. Hot around town is we have a lot of new construction out there right now.
Where were you?
I was in Port St. Lucie.
Veranda Gardens?
I was in Verano.
Oh, Verano. They had that open.
Verano had the open house last night. They had 11 models there. Beautiful, beautiful.
Verano's gorgeous.
And then I was in Vittorio yesterday morning, and that is an amazing community. If anybody's interested in a 55 and over community, it is a total lifestyle. And just
very
call
active.
me. Very, very active.
When people are saying, "I want active adult,"
absolutely.
That's
Can
the
I
definition.
date somebody 55 and older and then buy a house from there?
Yes.
Sure, you can marry them
with them. Yes.
They have to be on the lease.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to do that because that's pretty good, expensive living, right?
Not necessarily
not
inexpensive.
necessarily.
This is really
You know what
nice.
surprised me the most about that place? I went to go preview there, and I pull up, and the guard, as soon as I handed him my card, the guard was like, "Oh, you're gonna think this place is gorgeous, and go check out the clubhouse." And I'm like, I've never even seen a security guard that is this enthusiastic.
You gotta go there. You
about where they live.
gotta go there on Sundays. Sundays they have everybody in the community. They stock the bar. So,
Jeez.
oh yeah. They
That's
stock,
a place
they
I want to
stock
live.
the bar. And they get together on Sundays, and everybody brings food down, and they have one big party out there by the pool on Sundays. And it's quite a unique community. I think what really impressed me more was the construction of the homes. The homes were amazingly very well built.
Who built them?
AV Homes.
AV Homes.
Okay.
And very, 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 very well-built houses. I mean, these houses, for an average house, if you're going to get homeowners insurance on them, say for a house that size, probably cost you around $1,900. These AV homes, as they're built today, your insurance is $900 a year.
Wow.
I mean, amazing. So if anybody out there who's listening who's interested, please give me a call. I've got information on it. I can send you some stuff over. And if you would like to see them, I'd love to take you.
What kind of ranges are they again?
The price ranges go right around $269 and up, depending on what you want for a house. But
there are some resales out there a little less than that as well.
There are.
Nice.
So it's really, really a nice community.
Amazing clubhouse.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
That is a great area. And have you guys been into the Veranda Gardens yet?
Not yet.
I have not
Becker?
been to Veranda Gardens.
It's across from Tesoro. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really nice. They only have 3 models up right now.
They do,
But
yeah.
they're it's really cute. They're in the 250 to 600,000 range, and just almost that's another one that I've been showing a lot lately. It's a really great opportunity. And I just want to remind everyone again that we brought this up before, but if you're going to go look at new construction, contact a realtor
Yes,
first.
absolutely.
Because it costs you nothing. The builder pays our fees,
Right.
but yet you have somebody on your side representing you, and looking out for your interests.
Nice.
Yep. The builder's contract is certainly designed to protect the builder. They're going to throw things at you that you may not understand, so talk to a realtor
Right.
that can walk you through it.
And as a
Look out for your best
retiree out at AV, they've got there's a mortgage program out there. It's called the HEMC loan. That usually you go in and you put your down payment down. So say normally it's about 50%. So say you're putting $150,000 down on a home, which most people who are 55 and over have the money to do that. They've sold their home, now they want to invest. However, they may not have the money that they can feel that they can comfortably pay a mortgage payment with for a $300,000 home. Well, what happens is basically it's kind of like a reverse mortgage, but you have the $300,000 home, the $150,000 equity in it is still your equity. It's just an awesome program.
I need to learn more about that.
Yes, well,
What's
I'm
it
going to
called?
ask them to come into our office. And when they do, you guys need to be there.
Absolutely.
Because it's a purchased, basically, it's a purchase reverse mortgage.
Okay.
It is just the most awesome thing I've ever heard of.
It's called HEMC?
It's I think it's HEMC. And I've got it. I've got the brochure if you
Yeah.
want to look at it. But it is quite an unusual way for a retiree to buy a very nice home and live a lifestyle that they want to live.
Nice.
In a brand new home.
In a brand new home.
I like that. That's a good idea. So make sure you give them a call.
So that's some of my new education from around town.
Yeah.
As far as listings going, I've not had any new listings this week. I have one coming up next week in Port St. Lucie. Doing open houses. Again, Foxwood out by the high school. We will be holding that open. We've been trying to do some weekday openings on Wednesday plus Sundays.
Right.
So those homes will be open again. The little house in Hobe Sound, still a great buy, guys, for $149,900. It does need work. I will tell you, it is a handyman special, and it needs
Full
work.
disclosure.
It is full disclosure, and it has about $20,000 worth of work to be done on it. However, with that being said, if the work was done in it and done tastefully,
Yeah.
you probably could automatically make about $20,000.
Nice.
Right off the get-go. So don't think because it's a handyman special you don't want to do that. It's a great buy.
Nice. All right, let's go to the matter team. What's the matter for you, team?
I guess we're on the subject of 55 and over. I have a new listing in Kings Isle, which is in St. Lucie West.
Nice.
It is a 2-2 courtyard home. It's in really nice condition. It has a new air conditioner, new tile floors, wood floors in both the bedrooms, freshly painted. Just went on the market. It is $109,500.
Wow.
And it's also another active 55 and over community. Fairly low HOA dues and just a lot of things to do if you enjoy
that's a good location. That's close to-
beautiful
It is.
clubhouse, beautiful resort type pool. It's really a nice value.
Yeah.
How much was it?
$109,500.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good price. And with all the stuff coming around there, the LA Fitnesses and all the other locations and everything else popping up over there.
Yeah, that St. Lucie West area is really a nice
It's really
area.
booming. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
St. Lucie West, Traditions, all that area. I mean,
Yep.
they were supposed to be building a mall out there at one time, weren't they?
They were talking off of Becker,
Yeah.
but I think that's got pushed back
No, they've got already I did hear a little bit about that yesterday. The mall is still moving forward. They've already got 3 anchor stores that are willing to come in. They need 2 more anchor stores.
Wow.
Once that happens, it's a go.
They certainly have the infrastructure and the exit built for it.
Right, they do.
Well, it's funny because I live off of Becker, so I get off and I take a right off of 95, but you see this huge infrastructure heading west and there's nothing there.
Right.
And I'm like, what where is this going? There's like 2 lanes and all
Like cow
the
pastures.
and it's like they put up all these really nice palm trees, and it's a really gorgeous, I-95 exit. And I'm like, they got to build something
To nowhere.
Have you ever walked through it?
I don't know if I.
At night.
Maybe if you walk through it, it brings you to another destination.
Right.
Gosh. You guys. Fantasy.
All right, so what's happening? What's hot around town for the McAllister team?
Well, it's kind of funny staying on the 55 plus bandwagon. We just listed another one in Sea Pines, which is a 55 plus community in Southern and Hope Sound down out by Bridge Road, and it's not going to be available to see until the 5th of the next month of February, because the owner, there was a renter, and the owner wants to renovate it and paint it up a little bit and just a few little updates.
Right.
It's going to be on the market. It's a 2-2. It's going to be on the market for $124,900. Sea Pines has really been, the prices have been going up there. So you're seeing a steady increase. So it's a good value. It's a great 55 plus community, pet friendly, and it's a very. You'll see everyone out there. It's like there's a big dog walk at like 5 p.m. Everyone's out with their out talking around, and it's real nice. And you're close to a lot of the nice stuff down there in the Hope Sound around the Bridge Road area.
Beautiful.
So that will be available to see next week. And then we listed 4 lots up in Port St. Lucie, just empty lots that I think they're going to go on the market for $15,000. So if you have if you're looking for empty lots to build on,
Where are they at, Scott?
There's 4 different separate locations. I'll send them over to you. We got those, and those will be on the market later today.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so we got some good stuff for hot around town. So back to our little topic, true confessions of a real estate agent. We've been talking about that, and there was an article written by Consumer Reports that talked about how, the real estate agent business has gotten a kind of a poor reputation for some good reasons. They're not all ethical people out there, but these are certain things that you can kind of keep an eyeball out for to make sure that you do not get stuck with somebody who, is less than ethical. And it's I guess in a way, if you really don't know what's going on as a buyer, you could have all kinds of unethical things happening around you and not know the difference. What would be some of the key things that you guys can think of that could be done that a buyer truly wouldn't know of, that maybe you've seen in the past from people that would be unethical? Can you think of anything off the top of your head that without the client even knowing it was happening? I mean, some of the stuff that you see on here, like when we talked about.
The only thing I can think of is, we refer people out to people who come into the area that don't know, like a housing inspector, a title company, those type of people. We can refer people who we want to refer to because we know that they do a great job.
Right.
According to RESPA, we're supposed to refer 3. That's
Okay.
RESPA rules and regs. So, we can tell them and give them the names. I guess if this agent had a working relationship with somebody and they were getting paid back some money for every referral that they received, that's illegal.
And the client would.
That is illegal.
The client would know. And speaking of that,
client wouldn't know that.
Speaking of that, there is actually an article written by Philip Woolger, who mortgage lenders settle RESPA kickback charges for over $35.7 million. Now, 2 of the big culprits are 2 large, not going to say their names, but 2 very, very large banking institutions. One of them agreed to pay $34.8 million.
Guess they were more faulty, huh?
They did, absolutely. With more than 100 loan officers at least 18 branches, steered thousands of mortgage borrowers to a Maryland-based title company in exchange for kickbacks in the form of valuable marketing services and cash.
And trips.
And trips and everything. Yeah, so
I never got a trip.
I've been in this business for over 30 years. I never got anything back on any of them. You never expected that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
everybody knows it's illegal.
And the thing
it's
is,
a kickback, guys.
If you're, I'm sure, if somebody needs to get, if they need to be getting these little kickbacks to pay their bills, then they're not a very good realtor.
Right.
Yeah. You should be able to sustain your business legally and doing what you're doing. But also, the whole thing is, all I want back, and I know this is true for George and Carol, all I want back from our vendors is for you to give my customer amazing service.
Great, honest service.
That's right.
Because I don't need that. I'll give you $50 if you send people. I don't need that $50. What I want you to do is my customer to go, man, that person you sent me to was great.
Right.
And I'm going to refer everybody.
Because every vendor I give them that impresses them just makes my stock go up.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
Wow, my customers.
Exactly.
I mean, our job is to see that our customers are taken care of and taken care of properly.
Yeah.
And by us referring to people that we know that do great, awesome jobs, like our inspectors. If we let them just go out and get an inspector on their own, we don't know what this inspector does. We don't even know how long he's been in the business. Just because he might be a little bit cheaper,
Right.
he may have missed something big in that house that will cost you thousands of dollars to fix.
Yeah.
Or maybe he missed the fact that it had Chinese drywall in it. Now it could cost you your whole home. So you have to trust the people that you work with, and you have to know the good ones from the bad.
Now, if your client comes to you and asks you specifically about a contractor, subcontractor that's to do work on the house while they're looking to buy it, and you know that that person has done some things that are unethical, would you tell the client not to use that person because of it, or how would you handle that?
I don't think I'd have a problem saying to someone, I have reservations of working with
Right.
this person.
Right. Okay.
I don't think because that's just me being honest. I'm not disclosing anything.
Okay.
Or I've heard some things that I didn't think were quite right that this contractor did.
Right.
Doesn't mean that it's true, but I heard.
Okay.
Be careful. Get things in writing.
Okay.
Sometimes they may come back with additional things. So protect yourself.
Okay.
So set a warning anyhow.
Yeah.
For 'em.
Okay.
Well, now, just to be clear, though, because we did say, like you were talking about kickbacks are illegal. With builders, you can get a commission from a builder. Legally, you can get a commission. If we recommend a builder to build on a lot, we can legally get a commission for that. But obviously, same thing is just because if this guy is offering $1,000 more commission than this guy, but he's a terrible builder, I'd rather make less money off of that and go with somebody who's going to satisfy
Because
my
the client's going to come back later on, and you're going to get referral upon referral upon referral, which will more than a million years.
Way
pay for
more
itself.
than whatever
Absolutely.
the commission that I was off the house.
I mean, if we have a happy client, that happy client is going to go talk to their best friend, this guy that they run in down the street, and say, I've just got an awesome realtor for you to work with. That's where we earn our money.
Yeah. Happy wife, happy life. Happy client, happy life.
We've been talking recently about leading with revenue, and every year you want to look at how much money you're spending in marketing and what it's bringing back to you, and you think like, wow, all this money I spend to get leads, the value of that word of mouth. Is I couldn't pay for that. I can't pay for that kind of advertisement.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I was told early on when I was just got into the business by a very elderly realtor that was in the business probably 50 years. He says, you never work for the commission, work for the customers, the commissions will come.
There you go.
Just don't even pay attention if one pays more, one pays less. It's irrelevant. Do what's best for your customer. The commissions will come.
There you go. Nice. And we were talking about how people use euphemisms and whatnot. One of the other things that the realtors that were interviewed by Consumer Reports said, you can't believe everything I say about myself in my marketing material. So maybe they were kind of fudging some things in their marketing material about themselves, about their
Why would you say
how
something
long
that's not
that
true?
seems
That's
dishonest.
how long that they've been in business.
That's going
how
to come
many
back.
years,
That's going to come back to bite you.
how many years that I've been in business and things of that nature. Oh, I've been a realtor for 28 years.
You know, all you got to do is go online.
Or I've been in the housing industry for 28 years. Doesn't necessarily say that you've been a realtor.
Right.
So somebody could think of that as being, you've been a realtor for 28 years because you're changing your words there.
The biggest thing I see in their marketing material is their photo. Many of these women have their high school photo, and you go to meet them, and they're 80.
What is this women?
That's like That's like my
George, your picture, you had a lot more hair than you have right now, and it wasn't so gray.
No, it's just a lot less gray.
you got a point there,
It's
George.
the same amount of hair, it's just less gray.
That's a pot calling the kettle black there.
They did Photoshop my picture a little bit. Is that dishonest? I had to neaten my complexion up. But the thing is, in a competitive market like this, I bet there are places and maybe in the middle of nowhere, where if someone says, "Oh, I've been doing this for 50 years," and no one's gonna check them out. It's so cutthroat in Florida that if you try to really overrepresent yourself, there's some realtor who's gonna
catch you.
I mean, I was for about a year really doing great on Craigslist. And then every other realtor, I'm not doing anything breaking their rules, but every other realtor out there who doesn't want me advertising on Craigslist reported me.
Yeah.
So even though I wasn't doing anything wrong, you get so many flags, and the other realtors, they just go in there and report each other.
That's what I didn't like about the Craigslist posting is because for no reason whatsoever you can flag a thing. So if somebody's just trying to compete,
you see it's a competitor.
Yeah, that's horrible. Another thing that they said is I might persuade a client to sell a home for less than it's worth, and you were just talking about this.
We had that conversation this morning. It was it's unfortunate. It was this agent did not do its seller any justice.
Yeah,
underquoted the house for sale, for a quick sale. What it did is it hurt the comps in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It's just very unfortunate because it was they sold it about $35,000 less than what it should have been.
Wow,
it's a lot of money, guys.
And there are some people who are getting a reputation.
They are
for doing that.
Well, let's undersell it, get quick sales, and you're hurting the comps.
And if you're a seller, you need to, even though that's what your agent is giving you, you should probably do a little of your own research too.
And that doesn't mean when we're telling you, hey, you need to lower your price. We're going to back it up because it's a science and an art. But if I'm saying that this is what I think it should be, I'm going to be able to back it up. And if you ask me, I've got paperwork. I can say this.
Well, this agent listed this house for a price of another house in the subdivision that was nowhere near the house that was up for sale.
It wasn't a comp, right?
It was not even a good comp.
Right.
Wow.
And it's too bad.
What they're meaning is that it wasn't comparable. It had a lot less items or amenities than this house.
It was older. It wasn't updated. It didn't have as big a parcel of property.
Wow, that's a shame.
It was real shame. Real shame.
How about if you got a family around? Some realtors that were interviewed said they heard that people were saying that the school system isn't as good as they say it was. So they were beefing up how good the school systems were when the school systems were nothing close to what they were saying. So that's something that for if you got a family, I mean, that's important.
You do.
Yeah.
Now, we always say that Martin County has great schools, and they do have great schools. We've got one school right now has been how do you want to say that, reduced, and but it was all due to the tests that they do. So we can all say that all schools are great, and if your kids go to that school and they find out it's not an A-class school, it's now a D-class school, I'm going to tell you guys, anybody out there buying who has children to go to school, do your homework.
Right.
Go online. Everything is online on these schools.
Greatschools.com?
Well, you can go anywhere. I mean, you can go anywhere. You can go right into the schools and see how they're rated. You can go into the state to find out how your schools are rated.
On my website, I have a list of Palm
too.
Beach County, Martin County, and St. Lucie County schools. I recommend that they go there, they click on it, and they pull up a specific school. They can see the grading and the trends. Not only this year, don't look at 1 year, look at a trend. To make sure that it's been a quality school for last several years.
And if you want to get in contact with the realtors to find out about their websites and whatnot,
772-444-2590.
And that phone number is going to be around forever.
We just got a Google voicemail. Just came into my cell phone.
Really? Nice.
Someone just called in and left a message.
That's great on the last show. Look at that. All right. So another thing, which this is kind of weird that somebody would do this, is that the people interviewed said that I might encourage buyers to make an offer that is too high in order to try to get a bigger commission.
Why?
Well, why would
the
you
amount
do
of
that?
money that you would get is so little. I mean, unless you're telling them to offer $1 million more.
I mean, why would you do that? A house will only appraise what it's going to appraise for.
Yeah, that's weird that somebody would say that, though. That's just... I don't know. I guess just trying to push the envelope.
Well, I mean, a cash buyer, maybe because you don't have to worry about the appraisal. But still, when you break it down to, your 3% commission, then you're split with the broker and all that. Like, what if I push it for a couple thousand more? What am I? A few more dollars?
Yeah.
It's not, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not worth it.
Now, all this information is from March 2015 issue of Consumer Reports magazine. So it's
from the future?
It's from the future.
Holy cow. Do they have the lottery numbers?
March.
That's-
This must be. I don't. It says that's what it says here.
They
but
always
maybe it's
publish like a month and a half. ahead of
Oh,
time.
okay, that's why. Okay, no problem. This article appeared in March 2015 issue of Consumer Reports magazine. So if you get the Consumer Reports, go ahead and look at that, and you'll be able to find out all the details.
I love that magazine.
Yeah, I tell you, it's
There's
got
some
good
really
stuff.
but, because you can really rely on the a lot of the information.
Now, there's always been some controversy about it, that you see the best car and that's the whoever was advertising the most, and you're always going to see some kind of controversy on that. But
Well, that's why they don't accept advertising.
exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, you want to look at the reviews, but you have to look at these things on your own too. You got to educate yourself. People can tell you whatever they want you to hear, but you still have to make the decision yourself. So one of the other things is I sometimes reveal information about the lowest price a seller will take, or a potential buyer's top price.
Only if you have permission.
Now, I mean, I think that would be shooting yourself in the foot, wouldn't it? Sometimes I would reveal the information of the lowest price a seller will take. Why would you do something?
You get the best price for the best seller that you can get, for that seller that you can get.
Yeah, I mean, going in and saying, "Well, I know he'll take 120 instead of 150." I know he's. I mean,
Why would you say that?
Well, it's purely unethical, but that's what they're saying here. Is basically, I'm telling because you have the code your fiduciary responsibilities. So if I'm going into the buyer and I'm saying, "Hey, if you want to, let's get this sale over quick. I know this guy will take it. He told me he'll take at least 120 for it, even though he's asking 150."
If a realtor said that to me, I'd be like, then why didn't you list it?
For
Like, why are you
120?
listing it at 150?
And that is really
Crazy?
unethical.
Yeah.
That is truly. In fact, every single one of these that we have talked about is completely unethical according to the National Association of Realtors, and they can get in some big trouble for doing this. One of the other things is I might not disclose problems with the neighborhood to potential buyers. Now, what kind of
Yeah.
things could you? Oh, here it says you can.
That's a sticky wicket.
Because what it says is this is the little titles below is you can find crime data up to 2013 by city. So I guess maybe if somebody asked you about what's the crime like in this neighborhood and you said, "Oh, it's in great shape," and what you would have to reveal that if you knew the answer to that.
I always say that I'm not the specialist in that.
Okay.
But contact your police department. Your police department will let you know what your crime rate is in your neighborhood.
There's plenty of websites that you can send them
Yeah.
to. Do your own research.
Yeah.
If they ask anything about anything else about the neighborhood, give them an idea of where to go. There's enough things that they can search very easily. Send them and let them make their own decision.
And with everything that you can find on the internet today, I mean, if I was a buyer, I would sit down with my list of questions and I would go right to Google. And I would type in every one of my questions into Google first, and I would get a list of responses. And then I would sit down with my realtor, and I would ask the realtor those same questions if I was thinking of using them to confirm the validity of them, their commitment to me, and see what kind of answers like this that they're going to give me. Because if they're close, then I guess you're okay. But, I mean, if they're like completely far-fetched based on what you found from your research, then I would say you need to move on to the next realtor.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with interviewing. Interviewing a realtor. In fact, when you want to talk about a dirty little secret of real estate, is a lot of times while you're interviewing us, we're interviewing you.
Yeah.
We're finding out what kind of a seller this is, how we're going to have to work with them, what we're going to have to do too. So it's all part of it. I fired customers before.
Me too.
And I'm not saying that, there are times that people are just, I've had somebody that wanted me to do something unethical.
Right.
And I refuse to lose my career over something that I don't feel comfortable doing.
Right.
No.
Or you're just not a match. Sometimes your personalities are just so different. They're demanding. They want you to jump through hoops every time. I set up a schedule and plan my day around it. They may not just agree. At some point, you just have to say, well, you need to find somebody that has a lot more time for you.
Yep, absolutely. And everybody has to be respectful of the other person. The client has to be respectful of the agent, understanding what he's going through, and the agent has to be respectful of the client. And that's in any business. And I think that's what I see when I deal with all kinds of businesses. That's the number one thing that I see is missing in a lot of our businesses is we focus too much on the money, we focus too much on the concept, and we don't focus enough on the client. And just like what you said, focus on in any business. Any business, I don't care what it is, from the restaurant business to the real estate business. Focus on your client. Everything else will come.
Right.
Yep.
Respect.
That's it. Everything else will come. And sometimes I just look and I just, like you'll have a condominium or something like that, and they have let's say they have a pet policy or whatnot, and you have the pet. Well, okay, instead of just throwing a letter out there saying, well, you have 7 days to pay your pet due fees and to pay this, why doesn't somebody pull the client, the customer aside and say, do you now have a pet? What are the circumstances? Because it could have been somebody where a parent or somebody passed away and they were just taken for a couple days for the dog. And now here you are, you're aggravating somebody who's already in distress. So just focus on the customer.
Hey, it's been a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, guys.
I had a lot of fun working with you, and
thank you guys for being on True Radio.
Thank you, Mike.
Carol Morgan, Scott McAllister, George Matter. Want to thank you all for being here on True Radio. This is our last show here on WSTU 1450. But don't forget to go to TrueRadio.com or give the Realtors a call, 772-444-2590. As always, we land our last show with Tony Robbins. Life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom Platini, your host. True Radio, Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. Have a great year.